doesn't it? Oh, it did.
This is the Bleav Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Doesn't it? Oh, it did. Willock with an up and out. Wide open. Touchdown. Israel Troop.
Snap to Young, drops back, pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline, and it's intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30 near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Georgia.
Good evening, neighborhood. How about them Dawgs?
32, 18. Let the celebration begin.
All righty, welcome back. We're on a new platform here, StreamYard. That was our intro. Welcome back to our intro. We are the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Network. Joining me is fresh off the baseball diamond, coaching middle school baseball down there in Waycross, Georgia. It's Israel Troop. Going with the full name tonight, I see.
Yeah, man. They lured me out of retirement. I hadn't coached baseball in about 4 or 5 years now. So, love my little 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, man. Got a big win today against Lowndes Middle School. So it's good to be back on the diamond, but, miss being here on this platform and our wonderful tech guy, Corey, because, ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand. I know nothing about the ins and outs of the production that goes on here. Okay. So everything that you see, the video and everything like that, the background goes to Corey. So I'm glad we got everything fixed, man. We're live and in effect.
Absolutely, man. And I couldn't execute this show without my handy dandy broadcast partner here, Israel Troop, man, bringing all the knowledge, bringing all the Twitter fun, and bringing all the social media joy and the perspective of the former player. So couldn't do it without you, man. And can't wait to get on this. Can't wait to kick off 2023 and spend another year here on the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast. And to the moon we head, right?
Absolutely, man. We're trying to make the big bucks. So those of you who are listening to us, please subscribe. Trying to get that fancy office like our boy Jay and all those boys now, man. So
heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So we are presented by betonline.ag. Basketball season is in full swing. NBA is playing. The Hawks are playing right now. College basketball is live in conference play. We'll get to that here in a little bit. The NFL playoffs. What a weekend last weekend. Too bad we ended the weekend on Monday night with a stinker, but great weekend of football. Who would have thought the Giants would have beat the Vikings? Who would have thought the Jaguars would have come back from 27 down? I know Matt Ryan's probably feeling a little bit better about that. He's finally got somebody to join in his misery. And if you won a lot of money on BetOnline or whatever betting platform you use, but please use BetOnline. It's a great platform. Very easy to use. They have all the latest lines, odds, player props, news, things like that. So lots of different things to bet on. We have a promo code Bleav. If you punch in that promo code, you get 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's a pretty big deal. So bet on the NFL games this weekend. Bet on some NBA games. If you bet on some NBA games, tell me how to do it. Use that promo code, get that 50% welcome bonus, and enjoy your weekend. So bet online, that's where the game starts. So Troop, before we get rolling, before we talk about the game that led to the back-to-back, we need to take a moment and recognize the two damn good dogs that we lost after the celebration. Devon, Willock, and Chandler, LeCroy passed away in a car accident late Tuesday night, late Monday night, late Sunday night. I forget what day.
Sunday night.
My days are so blurred right now. It's not even funny. But yeah, lost them Sunday night to in a car accident. The two unnamed people in the car that were injured. We hope for a speedy recovery there. But man, it's just so sad. To lose them. Some reports came out today about some of the details of the crash. Pretty gruesome when you read it. Pretty graphic when you read it. It's almost like a scene out of a horror film.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's it's a terrible deal to deal with. Especially after such a momentous occasion, such a great day. To be a dog. You go out and celebrate. Winning your second national championship, your back-to-back national champions, and to get this news later on tonight is something that no one wants to hear. Prayers out to their families. I mean, that's something that's not a phone call you want to get. From my understanding, they were going to go meet some teammates to eat. It's just one of those things to where we really don't have an answer to it. All you can do is pray for their families, pray for the dog family too, because they were a big, huge part of everything, our day-to-day, things that we do every day, for the football team. So, it was a tough deal. I'm not up there. I'm not a part of that team right now, but it's still a brotherhood to us. As far as being alum and, our hearts go with the families in Dog Nation, as we, move forward and, things are going to come out and people are going to talk. That's just what social media does. But also remember that was somebody's child. That was somebody's sister. So, please be respectful, during this time. And, hopefully everything gets better, after a while. But, it's hard to wake up to news like that after such a big celebration earlier in the day.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's a tough scenario. Nobody wants to go through that, man. And two really great people. Devon was an integral part of the offensive line. He was an integral part of the UGA family. Chandler, she was a really huge part of the recruiting effort on such a phenomenal recruiting team. So two giant losses. We do this show with a broken heart in that regard. And we're gonna dedicate our show to them and dedicate this season of Bleav in Georgia Dogs to them. So our prayers go out with the Willock family, the LeCroy family, and also the two individuals that are recovering in the hospital. And I'm not sure what happened to. I don't know if it was a one-car wreck. I'm still gathering information. I'm not sure if it was a one-car wreck or not, but if there was anybody else involved that was injured or affected, prayers out to them as well. So just hope this situation, those that were not involved maybe can, see some of the details of this situation and learn from it. If there's anything that can be avoided, anything that can be learned from it, we hope that takes place. Unfortunately, at the expense of these two, but such great members of the UJ family. We like I said, our thoughts are with them and their families, and through this tough time. So, I mean, it's never easy. It's never easy to talk about. It's never easy. It's never easy to hear. But something that's important to us, and something that we needed to address as members of Dog Nation. And especially you, both of us. I mean, we're like the alumni version of what those two were. I was the recruiting assistant, and you're the player. So it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I mean, that was, terrible.
Yeah, that was a tough deal. Everything that's going on, I was ready to talk about, the Stetson Bennett beef that everybody's got with him.
Yeah, we're going to get right into that. Yeah, so yeah,
you gotta pray for those people and that family and hopefully everybody heals from this and everybody learns from it, like you said earlier. So, and switching gears here. Before I start, I hadn't cried in a long time. I'm starting to peel these onions in here, but let's talk about Stetson.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, like at one second he's a hero, and the next second he's a heel. He's living the WWE life, honestly. Going at Steak Shapiro. Apparently he was just playing tunes on his phone, like he wasn't just scrolling and ignoring people. He was playing music. So much to do about nothing. I mean, he's just been dumped on his entire career at UGA. And most of the people that have been dumping on him for his entire career, they have a special name. They're called haters.
Yes.
They're called haters. Now, I was skeptical that he could really be the guy long term, but then he quickly changed that narrative for me. And he did something called Prove It. And he did. He proved it. He had a 4,000-yard season this season, led us to back-to-back national championships, made sure that this year's national championship was stress-free, to say the least. Was an integral part of holding a lot of this team together. A receiving core that had been decimated with injuries. A.D. Mitchell caught 9 passes all year long because that's all he was healthy enough to catch. Caught 2 really big ones in the playoff, but just being able to function with so many injuries around him, it's ridiculous. Now, maybe some of this has gone to his head with some of his antics and some of the things that he does. He's always been kind of on the borderline of confident and cocky, and sometimes he crosses that line occasionally, which does happen. Not mad at him about it, but a lot of people are. Doesn't bother me. You got to have that to play quarterback in the SEC and to play at a high level that he played at. So, I mean, I have no problem with it, but that's just that is what it is.
I've been a Stetson lover since second game, I think, of, what was it, 2020, 2022, whenever he started. All right. So I've always been a Stetson believer. Me and you would go at it back and forth about who's supposed to start sometimes.
I was like, JT was still, at that time, JT had proven that he could play football at a high level, and he put some things on tape. And when they were going back and forth in 2020, JT finished 2020 as the starter, played quite well, actually. Started out, struggled a little bit against Clemson, gets hurt, and then Stetson comes in. I'm like, oh, what are we doing? We already benched him once. Let's see what Carson Beck had. And then Stetson goes out and breaks records. And he hooked me in that UAB game. He hooked me for good. I always thought he was good, but was he good enough to really compete at a high level in the SEC? It was remain to be seen. But he hooked me in that UAB game where he was dropping dimes, man. And then he gained a whole nother level of swagger that was able to help him push through and win that first national championship and then on into the second.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something, as a Stetson believer, if you were offended by what he did during the parade, or you were upset about what he did during the parade, that means you were a hater to begin with. And now you want to feel validated and being like, oh, Stetson, I believe in you now. If you're a true believer in Stetson, then nothing he did at that parade would have made you mad, would have upset you or anything like that. If you watch the whole entire parade, he was engaging with it. He waved and everything. You only saw little snippets, and that's what social media does. Social media only gives you a snippet. They don't show you the whole thing.
Oh, he was on his phone the whole time.
Dog Nation, Stetson Bennett owes us absolutely nothing. He gave us 2 national championships. He played lights out. I mean, the kid can do no more. And for you to be upset because he didn't thank the fans. First of all, the celebration is not for you. It's for the team. And he doesn't owe us anything. He owes it to his teammates, which he congratulated, which he interacted with the whole entire time. That's who he owes everything to. Those guys, those in that locker room that believed in him before anybody else in the picture believed in him, before his own coaches even believed in him. He owes us nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, you want to bring the kids into it. He waved at the kids. What do you want him to do? You want to get out and give him a popsicle? Is that what you want him to do?
Got a popsicle in my pocket.
So I don't understand. I know when people were talking about it, I tried to go back and watch the whole thing, so I went back and watched the entire parade. From outsider looking in, I saw absolutely nothing wrong with what he was doing. If you look at all the
You're a
clips,
trooper.
it's at some point he's waving, then he'll go down. And you can see him talking to, I don't know who was up there with him, but he's talking to him, and he's got two phones.
Van Pran. I think he was talking to Sed. He had his phone, and then he had the one that was hooked up to the aux in the vehicle.
And then he get back up and start waving and stuff. So when you win a championship, you do a parade. The parade's not for the fans; it's for the players. It's for the fans to congratulate those guys, celebrate those guys. That's what that means. And for fans and stuff to make it about themselves because he didn't wave like maybe once or twice is BS. And kudos to him for cooking that guy yesterday. Never heard of him. I don't know who he is.
I know who he is. I interned on a radio. I interned on his radio show, like fresh out of college. I know. Yeah, I know who State Shapiro is. Oh, he served him
a journalism school to help him with that because I mean,
Mr. Medium Rare. That's what he called him. Mr. Medium Rare. Yeah,
impressive. So what else can he do, man? What else can he do?
He dropped. I was playing some bangers on stage. Yes. Like that's straight bodies on that one, dude. That was impressive. No, I worked on. I was an intern for a show called Mayhem in the AM on 790 The Zone in Atlanta. And one of the hosts was Steak Shapiro, the guy who he roasted. So there you go.
So, and then if you look at it, I mean, all the fans, all of our normal people who follow us on Twitter, the normal Georgia people are not upset. So it's those. No. You're always going to have those people who are they want to be mad about something. Like I said, social media gives you that outlet to where you can be upset and also be wrong at the same time. So Stetson from Israel Truth, an alum of that locker room, as a brother, you don't owe us nothing, big dog. You gave us everything and more that we could have asked for. I mean, for you will now go in history. You are now the fourth team in history to win back-to-back national championships.
Mm-hmm.
That you're the quarterback of. No, you
first
don't. You owe nobody
first
nothing.
In the playoff era.
You owe us nothing. You played your part. You did everything that you're supposed to do as being a great teammate. Whether you had your turf moments, hell, we've all had our turf moments. So I mean, that's nothing to me. So I mean, enjoy it. I mean, you deserve it. The team deserves it. So
it's called being a college kid.
The people talking the most probably did way worse things than we've ever done in college ourselves.
Yeah,
because most of the people complaining grew up in the 70s and the 80s. We all know what's going on in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
And none of you could do what Stetson did. Most of you would have folded. Most of you would quit football when the coach told you you're not good enough. So that's what it is. You knew that you were wrong, and you, like I told Joe, I said you have to admit that you were wrong and accept it. You don't want to accept it. And poor Joe, man, he got roasted too. I mean,
he kept compounding his mistakes. First, he said TCU was going to win. That didn't go well. Then he said Stetson Bennett was not that great of a quarterback, and he just benefited from having a good roster. Well, show me a national championship team that didn't have a good roster.
Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young, Tua, Burrows, even
the
first one was from Ohio State. Cordell.
Yeah.
First
Jones.
quarterback Cardell Jones.
Yeah, he had Zeke and Michael Thomas.
You're as good as the supporting cast around you. That's what makes you a great quarterback. A good
football's a team. Football's a team sport. I don't know if people understand that.
I mean, I'm sorry he's not 6'5", what people wanted at the quarterback position, but he won two back-to-back national championships.
Yeah. Did you see how he was dealing?
Man,
did you see some of the throws he made? Some of the anticipation throws that he made?
I'm pretty sure he was watching film like during the Ohio State game too. Like he was watching film like after halftime of TCU because he was like, I'm finna win this. We're gonna play TCU and dot them up.
Yep.
And we're gonna win this thing. That's what it looked like because they came out. I don't know who pissed them off before that game, but they went hunting for real. When Kirby said we're going hunting, no, first of all, he said we're gonna have fun. You've never heard Kirby say we're gonna have fun. You know, at the beginning of the whole telecast, he's like, we're gonna go ahead and have fun.
And we're gonna play.
First of all, that was like me.
I was like, oh boy.
And then he said, we're gonna hunt. And he just looked at the camera. He was like, we're gonna go hunt. And just walked off. I was like, oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Oh boy. Yeah. So that game, man, 3 and out. No, it was 3 and out. Then we go down and score.
Mm-hmm.
No, we go down and kick a field goal, punt it back to them, 3 and out. We go down and score 10-0. Kick it back to them. They go down and score 10-7. I'm like, okay, like TCU has a little bit of fight.
I said, we got a ball game. We go right back down to score.
Yeah, I mean, just with ease. We get a pick and we score again, and then we score again.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stetson just scored again on TCU.
Yeah.
Then we score and score and score. The fact that we were chucking the ball up 45-7 was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that
I was like,
a statement.
damn. I was like, Kirby is pissed.
To be like, you know what? People have been talking crap about us since that Ohio State game. Because, everybody says, well, Ohio State should have beat y'all. He said, all right, well, let's just show everybody that we deserve to be here. I think that was the point. Let's show everybody that we deserve to be here. We should be here. And let's show these what's that we're the number one team in the nation and we're the Dogs and we're going hunting. And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, we accomplished that. I mean, Branson Robinson broke, I think, 11 tackles on 2 carries. 7 of them on one play.
Todd Monken was up there. I mean, with I don't know what he had going on. He must have just been fresh out of Hogwarts. I mean, he had all the magic, just going in his favor. I mean, he's dealing routes and taking care of one high safety. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the man was in his bag.
Yeah, he had their defensive coordinator their defense coordinator was just like bewildered. He was just like, oh God, like looking at a sheet and like, oh God, like go. It's like that scene in Friday Night Lights where Ivory's like, they're fast, they're strong, they're mean, they're dirty, and they're fast. You already said that.
How's it going,
Ivory? Yeah. Yep.
No,
they learned. They learned that the SEC, despite playing Elon week 11, can still whip your what.
Yeah, and I think you tweeted to me or Bleav tweeted to me when I said that Sonny Dyke said the SEC, wasn't very good. I think he found out. That chart. That goes if you keep effing around, like you're gonna find out. Like that's what happened. Like here's the chart. Here's TCU. They kept messing around, and then Georgia came and they found out. Like it met at a perfect angle.
It met at the highest point. It met at the highest point. They messed around. They found out. Yeah, that was.
And it was wonderful to watch. I mean, most people were like, "Oh, this is boring." No, it was great. It was wonderful to watch. It was a wonderful thing to watch. First of all, from a defensive standpoint, because I've catch myself as an offensive guy watching a lot of defensive film, and other than one bust which resulted in a touchdown, I think our defense, I don't even think they crossed the 50, but maybe twice the whole rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean they were all out of sorts. They couldn't handle our physicality up front on both sides of the ball. Their receivers couldn't get any separation. Because we were being physical at the point of contact or at the line of scrimmage. Safeties were disrupting pass lanes, and Max Duggan just couldn't get comfortable back there. He would either get hit or he'd get flushed. And
Absolutely.
there was nothing. There was no answer.
think we blitzed maybe 5 times the whole entire game. I mean, our front guys were just getting there. I mean, those guys made some money. I mean, Bear Alexander had 3 sacks? If I'm not mistaken. I mean, Stackhouse went off. I mean, Jalen being Jalen. I mean, it was just a whole lot of pent up energy. They've been pissed off for a while. I hate to see what that practice. I wonder what their practice was like that week. They came out mad.
Yeah, I think the first practice out off of the Peach Bowl, it was like full contact, good on good, like almost like a spring practice.
I love it.
Yeah, hell yeah. And they asked Kirby. Yeah, a whole lot of hitting, dude. They asked Kirby is like, well, what makes your team so physically tough and physically in good condition? He goes, well, we hit. We hit all season. We hit a lot.
There's
something to
that. If you run into each other, it's not full taking to the ground. It's not all about, the big hits and stuff like that. But if you're physically running into somebody every single day with proper technique, proper leverage and things like that, it's bound to show. When you can actually take somebody to the ground, makes it easy. That's what you've been waiting to do. You've been thudding all week. That's what made us so good this year. Ware County, we thud, form tackle, things like that. On Friday, let them dogs out, man. Let them loose. And guess what happens? Heads get to knocking. You know what I mean?
Because they're hungry.
I mean, the only difference now, they get taken to the ground. That's the only difference. Yeah. So they're flying to the ball, and now I get to actually tackle them. But you've been flying to the ball at practice. You've been physical at practice. You've been running into each other at practice. Yeah. Now you just put it all together.
Yeah. Then you just finish with the hands and scoop them and drop them.
There you go.
Or if it's quarterback, you got to like pick him up, cuddle him a little bit, put a pillow down, and then just lay him down gently. Is that how y'all teach you to wear? I know there's some. Yeah, I know there's some new pass roughing the passer rules going on. So
let me tell you something. You touch the quarterback at our school, you might as well go ahead and turn around and turn in all your stuff, because you're about to be on coach's highlight tape.
Yeah, I laid into somebody at practice last season. I mean, I went full Kirby on him, man, because he we're doing team, and he's scout team All-American. He played the play, and he got to our quarterback, and our quarterback was throwing, and he hit him like right here, and he couldn't finish his motion, and our quarterback was already kind of fragile at that point because it was late in the season, and he was, I mean, he'd been hit a few times. I mean, he was getting over some illness, he wasn't well, and we had nothing. His backup was concussed. So we'd have had to go with a JV guy who has 2 left feet and moves. And you could probably roll out of that beanbag chair you're sitting in faster than he could sprint. At the ripe old age at 35, you could roll out of that thing faster than he can run.
Hey, I'm 34. Don't give me that extra year just yet.
Hey, I'm 39. I'll be 39 for the rest of my life. Yeah, I feel you. But yeah, I mean, we were in that situation, so I had to let him know. I said, I mean, he's going to be a really good defensive lineman for us.
After that butt chewing he just got, I bet he is.
Yeah, and he understood. So, but yeah, I mean, physical practices, I think are the key. I mean, there's not much more to this game that we can talk about because, I mean, it was such utter domination. It's like, okay, well, we dominated here. We ran crisp routes. Stetson Bennett threw, really good passes with anticipation. He threw guys open. He put throws on in spots that a lot of pro backup guys can't do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Brock Bowers came back too.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was the Brock Bowers show. I mean, just anything that could have gone right went right. Anything that could have gone wrong did not happen. Like everything that went wrong against Ohio State did not happen against TCU. Everything that could have went right against Ohio State and everything that did go right against Ohio State went right again for Georgia against TCU. And TCU just got buried under an avalanche of momentum. And I think we showed the world, okay, this is what Ohio State had a brief chance to do to us, but they didn't. But we showed them, hey, this is like, you want to avalanche somebody, this is how you do it right here.
Yes, and that's exactly you hit it out of the park with that one, because that's like, had they scored on had Harrison scored that touchdown that we knocked out, that Bullet knocked out, I think we lose that ball game. Holding them to the field goal is really what let us win that ball.
Keeps it a 2-score game. Yeah, keeps it a 2-score game, and now Stetson's confident.
Because we were matching. We were matching. Well, I mean, not they were always ahead of us. So we'd score, then they'd score. So then we're back down by 2 scores. You know, so it's one of those things to where, you know, team, you know, as Kirby's things would say, you know, you got to keep them down. You know, don't give them an inch. You know, and I love listening. I don't know who leaks them. I think Kirby leaks them. His pregame speeches, because if it were me, and if I heard that before a football game, I would want to run through somebody too. I'm not gonna lie.
And if you're upset about that, like there's people that are like, "Oh, Kirby shouldn't have done that, man. He can't talk to kids like that. You know, that's just so terrible. He can't do that." Come on, man. Like
before a game, have you been like, "Hey guys, let's go out here. Let's play some really physical football, and we're gonna go out here. We're gonna knock them down. You know, we're gonna get after their tail." What do I want to hear?
That's what people thought Coach Richt was, though.
No, absolutely not. You've been in there before. He don't talk like that.
No. Definitely not. I heard him like walking through the halls, like, yeah, we're gonna whip their ass. But yeah, I mean, it's like, and I'd never really heard him cuss off of the practice field. On the practice field. Oh my God. But yeah, Coach Richt, like that was the biggest myth about Coach Richt. It was that he was like soft spoken and, all right, guys, now this is a good opportunity. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna whip their tails. We're gonna score some points, and we're gonna get out of here with the win and be gracious. No, nope. Didn't happen.
See, Coach Richt could cuss you out without cussing you out. Like, he didn't have to use a cuss word.
Yeah, but
when he did, it come out by accident. But when he did, you knew it. You knew what was fixing to happen. You know, so to hear it, the way that Kirby does it, that's kind of how we coach. I mean, that's what we grew up on. That's how my coach coached me. I'm pretty sure that's how your coach coached you. So to us, it doesn't bother me. Most of these kids cuss more than we do. So I mean, I don't understand what the problem is.
They don't cuss creatively like we do.
This, that, and the third. I'm like, have y'all heard y'all's kid in third block? Have you heard things they say?
If you walk out in the hallways,
your son cusses like he cusses like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction, man. Okay, so I just want to let you know that.
Yeah, I mean he's going to town on the F-bombs, man. He acts like he's never used an F-bomb before. My coach was my dad, by the way. My dad was like Coach Richt a lot. He had a calm demeanor until he didn't have a calm demeanor. Mm-hmm. He was very like, and then it'd boil to the surface, and then boom, he'd explode, and then he'd be back down. And
you'd be like
back down, level headed.
Okay.
Yeah. He'd slap his play sheet on his leg a lot. But he had some quips. Now he we kept jumping off sides one time in practice, and he goes, "Damn, we had the highest SAT scores in the state of Georgia. We can't remember damn snap count. What the hell? Get him chopping or something like we did up downs and He'd say stuff like that.
And just
he was creative with it.
Absolutely. You hear Kirby practice, and the way that I coach my guys and stuff too. Because we do live in cancel culture. I try not to scream it, but back in the day, and I used to get with it, and I still do now. But I just bring them a little bit closer to me, so I don't have to yell it. So I mean, to hear a coach like that in that locker room at that particular moment, and apparently it wasn't even the TCU game that video was from. So I can only imagine who
Tennessee game, I think, right?
Beat the hell out of, for that one.
Probably Tennessee. I think it might have been the Tennessee game.
Yeah, apparently we hadn't heard the best one. According to Kirby, that wasn't even the best one.
No, one of the best ones was a Florida game, I think. But
oh yeah, that was priceless. That one will go down in history. That was a good one.
But has he ever degraded a player? No.
No, he talks about his team. And that's the thing. If you talk about your team and what you need to do, your motivation, I mean, I don't understand why people are upset. I love it.
Yeah.
And that goes to show who has never been in a locker room.
It's standard practice. I mean,
those people believe in participation trophies.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what they believe.
He didn't degrade anybody. He was just fired up. So what? He used a few cuss words. I mean, come on. It's football. We've all used cuss words. It's just soft. That's all it is. Soft.
Soft coach, man.
Soft as Sherman.
If you want to win, you got to do what you do. You can't worry about the outside, and and I can only imagine things that Nick Saban said in his lifetime. So,
oh boy,
it could be. And that's the thing that, like, when I hear Nick Saban, you see Nick Saban going in on somebody. You never hear their fans on social media upset, but our fans are like, "Oh God, what's going on?"
Fans are so daggone sensitive
when you win
because
and you're building a championship culture.
Yeah, because our fans think
what they have to do. What is the assignment? This is why we're here. You have to get them back on track. What's the best way to get them back on track? Just let them know. You know what I mean? So
sometimes you got to be emphatic. I mean, it's a violent sport, so can't go in there all soft and candy ass about it, But people this stuff never came out on Coach Rick, so people's expectations are that hey, coaches don't do this. They're CEOs and they got to be composed and all that stuff, and it's just immaturity and him trying to. No, it's not. It's him trying to rally his guys to go out there and play a violent sport to the best of their ability, and be on the dominant end. Show
that worked out for Clemson this year.
It didn't. It did. They were at least they got God's NIL though, right? At least they got that going for them.
He said that, and I was like, "Man, get out of here."
Yeah, what is going on, dude? I was like, "No, Dabo," and then you go out and lay an egg against Tennessee.
Tennessee was mad too.
Tennessee was
they were
best. They're like, okay.
Their defense that was the best I've seen their defense play all year.
Play with a chip on the shoulder. Joe Milton was dropping dimes. Yes, they were like, okay, you want to leave us out of the playoff? Okay, here's your ACC champ. We're going to beat them down. No problem. This is a team you thought should be in the playoff?
3 SEC teams and Ohio State, and the whole playoff would have been
a lot more interesting.
Fun.
Yeah, definitely a lot more interesting. Give us Ohio State, let Tennessee and Alabama duke it out again. That'd be fun.
Yep. Or I would have done it to where it'd been Ohio State versus Ohio State 2. So it'd been us, Ohio State, Alabama. Well, Tennessee and then Alabama.
Tennessee and Alabama because
right.
So Alabama gets us.
Yep. And then Tennessee gets Ohio State.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Now that would have been a show.
That would have definitely been a show. And a 12-team playoff, that probably would have happened. Probably how it would have shaken out.
So is that in 24 or is that next year? That the 12-team deal goes down?
It's in 24. I think we got one more year of the 4. And I think it goes to 12.
Yeah.
The next year.
And the thing is, all the Alabama fans are like, well, you can't get in with 2 losses because it ain't gonna happen.
No.
You can lose 1. You can't lose 2. You lose 2, you're out. Like there's no doubt.
You're done. You're done. There was only 1 year, an anomaly year where everyone had to. If everyone had 2 losses, okay, I might give you a pass.
Yeah.
Like the 1 year LSU won it with 2 losses. Everyone had 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
So, that's one of those things you can't do anything about that. But when you get 2 losses right here, and you got conference champions inside of it, so you're not getting it.
Yeah. Wait till the 12-team playoff there, bub. So, transfer portal. A.D. Mitchell. Why? I mean, I'm hearing Texas, obviously. That's the rumors. It's not official that he's going to Texas. But he is in the portal.
Because, what's his name? Just declared.
Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison. That's it. I want to say Adler for some reason, but yeah, Jordan Addison declared. So I'm hearing USC, and obviously they got the money to do it. So also they need to give Reggie Bush his trophy back. By the way,
they do.
I don't think we forgot because we didn't.
No, we didn't forget. No, not at all. They should definitely give his trophy back for sure.
I hate it. I hate it. I was really excited, with him and Ra and McConkey coming back, with Rose Jackson.
Love it. Our boy Dom is hitting the portal, but he needs a reset, man, because he's been so injured. I mean, he's had some huge moments for Georgia.
He's a graduate transfer, so he's graduated.
So he got his degree. I don't hate that.
He's been a dang good dog for us, and with what we got coming back and, the 2 we had coming in, he was going to be on the outside looking in. So, and I respect that decision, and he's handled it the right way. And, I wish him all the best. And I wish A.D. Mitchell the best. I hope he decides to come back, because he can always decide to get out, So I don't know what prompted this, because there's no doubt in my mind that he would be, an intricate part of this receiving corps next year.
There's some Buster Faulkner's gone. Todd Monken is rumored to be going back to the NFL. Like, there's some dominoes that could be falling.
Yeah,
where he doesn't necessarily want to learn. Like, if he's going to learn a new offense, he may as well go
learn it somewhere else.
Learn somewhere else, where he can get a bigger NIL deal, bigger market. It's all.
This is the Georgia Dawgs Podcast.
All right, there we go. Random.
This NIL stuff is getting out of hand as far as tampering with players. That's the part that makes me mad. Paying a player to play is totally fine with me. I wish that they did it for us. I have no problem with that. But when you start to tamper,
there's got to be regulation. There's got, even the NFL free agency, like that everybody's afraid that college football's become, has I get so excited, I'm like smacking the keyboard. That's why we played the intro. But they need guardrails on this thing. They need regulation because it works for the NFL. The NFL has a calendar, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
College football has none of that because they have nobody at the top. Everybody's just a free for all. Yeah, that's the problem. Because NIL is not the problem. The dysregulation of NIL is the problem.
Because if you think about it, who tends to make the most money still out of this whole entire ordeal? NCAA still makes the most money. Because what happens? All these great players go to these certain universities, which means more money for that university, which means the NCAA is going to get a cut of that money. Mm-hmm. So do you think they care? They don't. Why should they? But if I'm if I have morals, then I have to figure out a way to at least stop the tampering aspect of it. You can't tamper with other people's play.
Yeah, and there's got to. I mean, like I said, there's got to be things in place. We got to start with tampering. Yes, that's the first thing.
Like, who offers a 17, 18-year-old kid $13 million to the point to where he now wants to get out of his NIL? I mean, out of his letter of intent because he's not getting that money. Who does that? Where does that even come from?
Yeah, like there should be a window for that. And that should coincide with the transfer portal window.
There's no way I'm offering a kid this much money. He ain't even stepped on campus yet.
No, it's stupid.
Kid at Michigan's transferred 4 times now. 4.
Yeah,
4.
There's a kid.
This is going to be off the time transfer.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on now. It's starting to become like Miami City football, where the guy plays for 4 different teams for 4 years. And by the way,
so
it's reached the high school level. Yeah,
I was about to say we can regulate it at high school level, especially here in Georgia, right? You can't you have to make a bona fide move. Like your whole family has to get up and move. Like if you wanted to, I want to transfer to Ware County, LeCroy, you and your whole entire family has got to get up, physically move to Ware County, right? So if there's laws and a process in high school ranks, especially here in Georgia, why can't it be that way in NCAA?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't. I mean, there should be stiff penalties if you are caught having contact with a student athlete and they're not in the portal. Like that should be the new recruiting. That should be the new big violation. Like you're going to get smacked hard in the face. Punch to the teeth, if you're caught tampering, because like you can't stop it when it becomes rampant. But if there's some really, really harsh penalties for it, I guarantee you these coaches, they know what's happening. They're probably the ones leading it. They're saying, hey, booster, go and hit this kid up. I can't really hit him up, but you can talk to him freely. Hit him up. And so if they knew that there were some connections there and they could put some really strict penalties in, would they do it? Yeah, some would probably still do it and take the risk, but like most laws in our country, it deters the majority of people. There's a whole lot of people in this country that don't want jail time, so they're not going to do anything wrong. I mean, there's some people there's always going to be violators. I mean, that's just kind of how it works, but it'll curb it enough to where it's not a huge problem like it is now.
Yeah. If you start taking away from coaches' salaries, that's where you start. That's anything that people do, you start taking people money. If you start taking away some of these coaches' salaries, all right, if you get caught, we're taking 15%, all right, of each coach on your staff. So that goes all the way down to the analysts, to the GAs, whatever you're getting paid. We're taking 15% of what you already make for tampering, right? That'll make all these coaches a little bit more hands-on what's going on within the program. That's how you get it. Start messing with people's money, and then you start telling the AD, all right, AD, I'm going to take 20% of what you got because you're the head. You should know what's going on anyway in your program.
And if you get a second tampering violation, now it's half.
Automatic, off the rip.
Yeah, it's half. And third strike, you're out. See you. Bye. Whole staff wiped out. The entire operation wiped clean.
You got to sit out a season. All right. So
no,
sit out a season.
The assistants have to sit out a season. The head coach, he's on a blacklist. Like he can't be a head coach ever again.
Yeah.
Like be that strict. I guarantee you. It will. I mean, you'll have 5% of coaches that get the lifetime ban, but it won't happen.
Somebody's gonna try it.
Somebody's
gonna try it.
But I
Somebody's
guarantee you,
all right, they ain't for real.
Yeah.
You mess with people's money.
Get somebody like
Goodell. You start thinking.
Yeah. Get somebody like Goodell get a college football commissioner, have him rule with an iron fist like Goodell does. Like Goodell gets a lot of heat, but he runs that freaking league he runs a tight ship over there at the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is tight. I mean, some of the things you could probably look at and go, oh, man, that's kind of ridiculous, but he runs a tight ship.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of people try him.
No.
They don't try the Shield now.
Starting to become a show now. You know, it's this transfer portal, and like I said, I'm all for the transfer portal. I will never say that I'm against transfer portal. You know, because I think kids do need.
It's not the transfer portal itself. It's not NIL itself. It's the fact that you're letting this happen without any regulation. I mean, it's like leaving a pallet of cash out there and hoping everybody only takes $1 bill. That ain't gonna happen. Like there's no regulation.
Yeah, and they're going to try to regulate the portal to where you can get grad transfer and stuff like that to get, you know, next season stuff. But that doesn't go into effect yet, you know. No. So people in the portal are upset, you know, unless their coach left, something like that, you know, which is kind of understandable. But you're mad because you were so-called promised this and it didn't happen. You know, like that's why you're in the portal. You know, you're not being mistreated. You know, you're a turd, to say the least. And you think coaches are against you. No, you're a turd. That's what you are.
Yeah,
I was a turd. Exactly. So I know exactly. I know exactly how to do it.
Are you saying you're an expert?
I'm an expert in turdology, okay, because that was me.
Turdonomics.
Right? And yeah. And at no point in my lifetime did I think I want to transfer. Never even crossed my mind.
Yeah. You could have, and probably nobody would have blamed you. You know, depending on where you were, probably
wasn't hurt. So, you know, half of it was my fault.
Yeah. I mean, if you can own up to the fact that, hey, I'm in this situation because of things that I did, I need to change those things.
Yeah.
Then that's where true growth is. I mean,
I should have went back a little bit more.
You know, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, sometimes, unfortunately, people have to learn things more difficult than others. Some people just see these things and go, okay, I'm not going to be a turd. Some people are like, okay, I'm going to push some boundaries here. And some people are like, F your boundaries.
I was kind of in between. I'm going to push the boundaries and F the boundaries at the same time. I was a tweener, right in between. I was going to see how far I could go. I wasn't going to go too far.
Just depend on what your mood was. Sometimes, you know, if you're in the right mood, you were kind of F your boundaries. Yeah. I remember you telling that story about Coach T and the punishment runs you had.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what you did. Yeah.
I didn't go to class. I was late to class.
You were late to class, yeah.
I was a habitual class skipper.
What was your major?
Well, here's my deal. Consumer economics and real estate. Before the
big
market
brain
crash.
Stuff right there. Yeah, some big brain stuff right there.
But listen to my logic, though. This is my logic every time I didn't go. Okay, we would have a test. Okay, like the class before, right?
Yeah.
So what was the point of going to class the next time? I only missed the very next time after a test.
Oh, well, I mean, shoot. There was a class at Georgia that I skipped every day because I didn't see a point in going to it because it was one of those 400-person classes. It was anthropology. And I would fall asleep. We probably were probably sitting next to, well, actually you weren't in college yet, but
took some of my best naps in that class.
Yeah. I was like, why am I going to this class? I'm not I'm just gonna go to the bookstore and get the little packet of notes and cram and make my
was one of the classes that got me on Coach T's list because I was like, screw this, I'm not staying here.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go. I get to a point where I didn't even go.
Stop. As I was getting on the bus to go back to the dorms, she just happened to be coming by too and saw me. I was like,
oh no,
shit, she got me.
Well, better lace up my.
You know, get that text message. You got 5:45 run in the morning. I know. I already know.
Okay, Coach T, I'll see you. You're late. That's funny.
Coach, I'm already on number 10. You're late. Oh, that was a great day. I felt so good that day.
Yeah.
Coach T come walking up there. I'm like, Coach, I've been here. I'm on like number 10. You can't make me start over because I was here and you were late.
Yeah, you had him. You had him there. That's a good point. I'd have been like,
was such a great day.
If I was Coach T, I'd have been like, oh, I'd have been pissed, but I'd been like, damn it, you're right. Pissed.
You know, now
so mad at you, but coach, you're right. Yeah.
And as a coach now, you know, like I said, that's what makes me, you know, question the portal so much now. As a coach now, I have so many, you know, of my own guys that are me, you know, so like they'll try to lie or do something. I'm like, cuz I've done that 10 times better than what you're doing it right now.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for another person, I wouldn't have got called. So I see right through you and you're going to get called and we're getting in trouble. So let's not do that.
You're not very smart. You're lazy.
No.
You're lazy with your turd on up. You're making an F in turdonomics right now. You're not going to be a turdonomist.
I already caught you. I caught you before you even did it.
Yeah.
I have informants at school that tell me everything. Like, my kids would be like, Coach, how you know? I mean, don't worry about how I know. Just know that I know.
Yeah. Social media is a big informant. Like, these kids live on social media.
You are your own worst enemy. That's what I tell them all the time. Coach, how you know that? Because you did it. You posted it.
Yeah.
We
had two teammates that got in a fight, and they posted on Instagram. Like, our starting safety beat up our freshman D lineman. I mean, it was just. I mean, he had him hockey style too, like the shirt over the head, and was just wailing on him. He was standing. He had him pinned against the wall, and he was pulling his shirt up over his head, and he was just bam, 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 just wailing on him.
And they had some true beef going on there.
It was all over a phone charger.
Stop. A phone charger.
It was a phone charger. Because the kid that was getting wailed on, he went in the other kid's bag.
Oh.
And took his charger out.
Oh, that's stealing. That's he deserved that one.
Oh no, he definitely deserved it. But at the end of the day, it's like, really? Like, you're gonna get yourself suspended? He got 5 days of OSS for that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's
you going to out school, cuz.
Yeah, we don't. Apparently you get in more trouble for having you could have an empty vape cartridge and you're gone, like you're expelled. But if you beat the holy dog shit out of somebody,
you get 5 days.
You get a 2-day vacation. We had a kid doing drugs on a bus. Got expelled. He's back now. Same school.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like, I thought once you were expelled, I thought if the word expelled was used, you couldn't come back to that school ever.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
That's definitely what that word means.
Expelled in our district means it's a 180-day vacation. Or you go to a different school for 180 days and you can come back.
Then you come back.
You go to alt school for 180 days. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's
we
big.
gotta do
That's big
something.
big city school district right there.
Hey, AD Mitchell, I don't know if you listen to us or not, but it'd be much appreciated, if you just come on back.
Okay. Yeah.
Haha,
AD,
we
come
did it.
come on now. Come on now. Hey,
It,
hey,
it
AD.
was,
Hey,
it was
you
funny.
ain't fooling nobody. We're Nashville people. All right. I saw you at Cane Ridge. We scrimmaged against you. I know what you can do. Just come on back to Georgia one more year. All you need is you just need to put your 10 best plays on the NFL film. Dude, you're already there. You're gonna get drafted when you're eligible. When you enter the
I
draft,
promise you,
you're gonna get
if
drafted
it's,
high. You're
if it's a
good.
money deal, I promise you, the people who own the Coca-Cola plant down here in Georgia, right? Or what's another big money deal? Anyways, these big
Georgia
money
Power.
people.
I don't know. Billy Payne, the chairman of the board of Augusta National, is a pretty big booster.
I'm
He's a
pretty
Georgia
sure that
guy.
we can match whoever's
Yeah.
throwing this dollar figure out here, because at the end of the day, we all know we're not naive to the fact of NIL. Okay, so you can say, well, this is how I feel about it. Wrong. So,
And you're going to be in good hands medically because we got Ron Corson.
There's no better trainer than Land. And if it were me, and I kind of see how my boy Burton did, and this is not throwing shade on Jermaine Burton by any means, but if you go and see what he thought was going to happen and what actually happened, that grass ain't so green on the other side.
No,
I'm just
it's
saying.
not. Yeah, it's not. He got spooked by a sorority girl too. I don't know if AD will get spooked. I don't know if AD will develop a phobia for sorority girls, but Jermaine did at Alabama.
Sometimes that grass ain't as green on the other side. It may look good, but it ain't real good. So I get
Terrence,
it.
I'm just joking, man. Don't come after me. I'm just joking, Terrence. I know Terrence is a big Jermaine Burton guy, but
hey, I'm a big Jermaine guy. You got to do what's best for you, but sometimes
yeah, I mean he was it just didn't.
Moment.
I don't know. There was some other things happening with him. I think he needed to go.
Yeah, and, sometimes those decisions don't pan out in the end, but it's if you do decide to, all the guys that have decided to get in the portal, I wish all of you the best. Some people aren't going to do that, but from talking from a coaching and a player standpoint, I get it. It is what it is. And we're going to be back. We're about to three-peat this thing. We got Carson Begg, we got 3 quarterbacks coming. Branson Robinson, Dejon's coming back for one more. I think Milton's coming back, or McIntosh. Which one's coming back? Milton's coming back, right?
Yeah.
Milton's coming back.
McIntosh is graduating, right?
Yep. And, with our receiving core, up front, defensively, I mean, we could be the first team in history to three-peat.
That's right.
And if you think about it, I know we'll get into it
another ring
as
there,
we get closer. I don't see anybody, at least in the East, other than Tennessee, that could, go toe-to-toe with us.
I mean, I think Kentucky gets Liam Cohen back as their offensive coordinator. They get Devon Leary, who I think was the prized quarterback out of this year's crop of transfer quarterbacks. They will be solid. They'll be pesky, but we get them at home.
Get them at home. Now, if we're
get them at home, yeah.
But
get them at home. We get Graham Mertz at Florida, which, if you watched Wisconsin football, that's not scary. Tennessee's going to be hell because we got to go to Neyland. That game is going. I don't love that one. Ole Miss will be. Ole Miss is a home game. Lane will have lost interest by then.
Yeah.
So that one will probably be easy because he will have lost interest. But
him and Pete went out the night before. So
yeah.
I like both of them too. I like Pete and I like Lane, which makes that joke even funnier to me. But by that time, like you said, their fate would have been sealed by then. So
yeah, their goose is cooked. So, well, all right, man. Well, before we let you go, before we wrap this thing up, man, Mike White, basketball.
I know it actually makes
Doing
me
a few
want to
things,
watch.
man. I know. I might actually have to.
Can I
turn
just
it on.
say, even with our loss to Alabama and to I think we lost.
Dude, Alabama might win the Natty this year in basketball.
Kentucky.
Alabama's sick.
Kentucky
Alabama
the other
is
night.
filthy. Yeah, we
We
lost
have played
at
the
Kentucky.
most basketball
Yeah,
that I've seen
pretty,
in a very long time. Even in
played
losses,
decent.
we were right there. I think when I saw Dash tweet out, shout out to my boy Dasher. I think it was like 71-65 with like 3 minutes or so left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, last year, we'd have been getting monkey stomped. So, for us to be competing the way that we're doing,
beat Auburn, beat Mississippi State, beat Ole Miss. Yeah,
exactly. Where we are as a program. So our girls are doing pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball season about to crank up.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to volleyball. For making the tournament.
Yes. Let's go get
first
it.
Time in a long time.
Let's go get it. Volleyball. Let's get it. Let's get us a natty in volleyball. Here we go.
So Georgia athletics as a whole is getting really, really good, and I'm all here for it. That we all know we talk about football, because that's exactly what we do, and that's what we coach. But when you got a university where all your programs are top ranked and are doing really well, that just shows.
It starts at the top, man. Starts at the top with Josh Brooks.
So shout out to my boy JB, Mr. Brooks himself.
And then, he's hiring these top-notch coaches to come in and build programs, and that's what they're doing. I mean, he saw a gym with Mike White. Mike White is exactly the coach that Georgia needs. Is he a top caliber coach? Probably not, but he is exactly what we need. He's somebody that can take advantage of what we do well, give us an identity. We finally have an identity. We finally see, like, here's the thing with Tom Crean. I was talking about this the other day with a coworker of mine. Tom Crean, when you watch Tom Crean's basketball teams, it looks like 5 guys at the Y who just met each other and said, "Hey, okay, we got next." And it was just like nobody would really want to pass to anybody else, because, okay, if I pass this guy, I don't know what the heck he's going to do. I don't know if he's any good or not. So I'm just going to take this shot. It may or may not go in. I don't even know if I can hit this shot, but I'm going to go ahead and take it, because why not?
I don't know if I can hit it, but I'm going to do it. Let it ride.
Hey, let it ride. Hey, Rain Man. Make it rain. Like you ever seen Along Came Polly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you remember that scene. So with Mike White, like, hell yeah.
That was it.
I know. It's just like, and D Wade, like, you don't coach D Wade. You just kind of like, okay, here you go, Dwayne. Like, here's the basketball. Like, go
it's
make it
like
happen.
Golf. Whenever you become the head golf coach, it's going to be like golf. I don't have to coach you. I just go out there and say, "Hey, here you
go." I'm going to go visit Chris Hack if I become the head golf coach. I'm like, "Oh, Chris, how do you do this thing?" He's going to go, "Man, I recoup my butt off. That's what I do." I get Kisner, Harris English, Bubba's. I just had a brain fart. I was about to say Bubba Wallace, but he's a race car driver.
Bubba Watson.
Yeah, Bubba Watson. I can't believe I forgot that. So yeah, I mean, for Mike White, like, we actually play defense, we actually rebound, and it looks like we're actually trying to score the ball by making these things called passes. Like, we've actually discovered that, yes, it is not against the rules to pass the ball to somebody else. It's not against the rules to rebound. Like,
get the ball in the paint, man.
Yeah,
watch what happens.
We're scoring from the free throw line. We're stopping people. So,
doing
oh
all
my
those
gosh,
things right.
Novel concept. Play actual basketball. And we drastically improved by just actually playing basketball. Like, our recruits aren't even like, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're playing really good basketball, but like, were they extremely heralded? Like, were they heralded guys coming out? Were you like, oh my God, we beat North Carolina for this kid? No. No. It's not a knock. It's just like, he's taking these guys that like, they're like mid power tier guys. Like, they're kind of like the guys Kentucky will get for football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those type of guys. They're still really good. But are they Alabama? Are they Georgia type talent? No, you might get one.
But are they that good? Like,
yeah,
they're good, but are they
like
good? Like
in basketball, are they North Carolina Duke good? No, probably not. But like we're competitive.
We're getting there.
We develop. There. That's what we need. That's like Georgia basketball. You can't try to play North Carolina and Duke's game. You have to develop. You have to do things a little bit differently. You have to probably rely on the transfer portal a little bit more than the next. That's what Deion's doing out there in Colorado. You got to build it how you can and stick with your identity, stick with who you are. Like Colorado's not getting USC guys. It's just not going to happen, even with Deion. It's not going to happen. It's Colorado. Nobody's going to Boulder over USC. Like he'll pull a couple because of who he is, but they're not flooding in there. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's Colorado. But he's gonna take those guys. He's gonna take some of those transfer portal guys that were stars at Boise, stars at Weber State, stars, elsewhere, stars at Jackson State. Have quite a following there. And he's going to make them way better than they are. That's what he's going to do. He's going to take grad transfers that are looking for a home. He'll take some of those guys.
Which are going to be really good players.
Yeah. Most of the time, now it's a little bit different, but most of the time, you're not hitting the transfer portal because you're elite. Like, rarely do elite guys. Like, A.D. Mitchell hitting the transfer portal is more rare than, that's a more rare occurrence. Like, people like A.D. Mitchell don't usually hit the transfer portal. But he did.
It's called tampering, which we'll figure out who did it here in a minute.
Yeah.
If he leaves.
It was Professor Plum. It was Professor Plum in the library with the wrong game. So man, nothing on the Clue reference. You don't know anything about Clue, do you? Did you ever play Clue as a kid?
I'm a Monopoly guy, man. Monopoly guy.
Oh, I love Monopoly. But Clue's awesome too. Yeah, it's like a murder mystery. It's like a murder mystery board game. Like,
I remember. I just never played that one.
Man, you're missing out, dude. Our kids did a fall play, and it was Clue. That was the fall play. So
all fancy.
Yeah, dude. I got to support the performing arts, man. We got a lot of good performing arts at Hillwood. It's better than our sports teams. So, well, we're gonna leave you with that right there. When we come back to you next, we'll probably have more transfer portal news. We'll probably have more recruiting news. We're definitely gonna have that sport that has a big orange round ball and it goes into a hoop with a net. We're gonna talk about that sport. Apparently, Georgia just discovered that they have one of those teams. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. What Mike White is doing, kind of update you on that. We're going to probably not take so much time between. That's probably more my fault. It's been exhausting the last couple of weeks, but we're back. We're going to be back, and we're going to develop a plan that we're going to come at you more frequently, and whatever that looks like, however we can fit that into our schedule, whether it's, we'll figure that out, and we'll let you know as we go. But for now, we're just going to keep rocking and rolling. And we're gonna keep on keeping on. So, Israel, have fun coaching baseball again.
Oh yeah,
go lift that trophy later. We are the Bleav in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Bleav Network, presented by betonline.ag. We hope you have a great rest of your week. We hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week. We'll see you back here soon to talk Georgia sports. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.